Today's lunar eclipse in Virgo reminds us that life is more weird than it seems on the surface and maybe a little bit more magic, just not always what you expect. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Tuesday, March 3rd, and today's lunar eclipse is the full moon in Virgo, and it is exact at 3:37 a.m. Pacific time at 12 degrees Virgo, with Mars, Sun, Mercury, and Venus all in Pisces. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is the ruling planet of Virgo. So if you know anything about astrology, you know that that makes this Virgo full moon, and it's an eclipse, just a little bit intangible. And so we're going to break that down a little bit today. And we're also looking at Saturn and Neptune still less than a degree apart in early Aries. So we have that Aries energy, and we're going to be seeing more Aries energy coming up as soon Venus and then the Sun, and eventually Mercury and Mars will be moving into Aries as well. And of course, Saturn and Neptune are there to stay for a while, as they do in a sign. Neptune, of course, much longer than Saturn. Neptune, we have until the late 2030s in Aries. Saturn, we have for the next couple of years. So anyway, Aries energy is coming, but before that, we have this lunar eclipse in Virgo that is focusing on shining a light on the everyday, the ordinary. And this is just a reminder that what seems ordinary and logical and practical has a vast network of mystery behind it. And so the things that we take for granted, the things we expect, the things we assume to be true, all of that we come to realize, perhaps with this lunar eclipse, we come to realize that that's just the surface that we're seeing. Below that reality, below our physical experience, below and beneath and beyond the tangible, there is a vast network of energy that has to come together for us to have an experience. And so behind this lunar eclipse, which hopefully I'm making a little bit of sense, it's hard to articulate what I'm trying to put into words. But when we have this vast Pisces energy, especially with Mars in Pisces and Mercury retrograde in Pisces and Venus and the Sun all in Pisces, we have that reminder that the things we see, the things we experience, the things we taste, touch, come to count on, depend on, expect, etc., all of that is the result of these very much bigger, more mysterious processes and flows of energy. So think about, for example, human beings. You're a human, I'm a human, right? And here we are in these human bodies that come from where? Where do we come from? We can't really answer that, right? That is mystery. So that is the kind of thing that even the very thing that we take so much for granted, that we're human, that we're in bodies, that we're here, that I'm here, you're there, we're all going to be the way we think we're going to be. We take that for granted, we expect it, but it comes from something that we don't understand, we can't explain, we can't put our fingers on, we can't predict, we can't control, right? All of that vast wealth of mystery is that bigger picture of whatever you want to call it, right? What is it? How does it vibe for you? Is that your spiritual truth? What are your beliefs, right? It all comes down to our beliefs and what feels right and what we align with, or what helps us to get through this ordinary human existence that brings its challenges and all the things we have to deal with as humans. So this lunar eclipse, while it has that very Virgo, very tangible, of course, that's a cup. I can see that it's a cup. It was there yesterday. It will be there tomorrow, right? Like you can't argue with that logic. But at the same time, where did that cup come from? How did it come into being? How did all the molecules to make that cup what it is arrange themselves in such a way that we can have the experience of that cup, right? So, how do we work with this? How do we think about self-care when we have this experience of this much mysterious and vast, this giant sense of energy? What it reminds us of is that that magic can happen. First of all, we don't know always what's going to happen. Maybe we don't, usually we think we know what's going to happen. Maybe sometimes we're right. But the point is that magic can happen. Things can move in directions that we don't expect. That vast wealth of mystery is, in a sense, something we can tap into to help shape the experience we want to have. So whether that is your dreams, your spiritual connections, your imagination, and our imagination can take us in maybe places that feels frightening, but our imagination can also help us to imagine what's possible, what something could look like, imagine that beautiful vision of the outcome you want to see, but don't just imagine it. And that is what this full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo says. It says, you are here to create that vision. And so if you've ever been to like a performance, a music concert, an art museum, like something that really, really moved you in ways that are kind of unexplainable. So you could palpably feel that bigger picture of something spiritual, something soulful, something magic moving through that art, whatever the art is, for you to experience that changes you, that moves you, that maybe even is a defining moment in your life. So how do those moments happen? Right? They happen through this magical combination of intention and decision making and effort and opening to possibility and it's the creative process. In the end, all the intention, all the effort that we put into something, ultimately we also have to let go of all of it to allow what is being created to come through and transform us. So you see, it is not about control. It is not in that sense of, we want to have control and be able to move the Lego bricks from here to there and create exactly the thing that we want it to be because we've done all the math, right? It's not that kind of control. It's the kind of control that is that beautiful balance between choosing a direction and allowing what's coming through to come through. And so if you've ever been a participant in creating a work of art like that, or you yourself are an artist, through that process that you can do all the things, but in the end, something magic happens that you can't predict. And it's that magic in the moment that is truly something vast and mysterious and beautiful coming through. So, how is that showing up for you in your life around this eclipse? What is it when you look around? you and your life, it's like that. Well, there's that ordinary thing. There's things look ordinary. They look like, you would expect them to look. But what is it that's moving below the surface that you can't explain? And how are you meeting that energy to say, my heart is open to what can be created here? And so putting in the Virgo, the good old fashioned Virgo energy of being hands-on crafting. So the skills you have, the experience you have about how to create things and how to put in the effort and the technique and all the things you've learned that makes you good at something, that combined with being, in a sense, this container, this vessel for something bigger that's coming through at the same time. So all of those things have to come together in this magical formula that we don't control, but we can invite in, we can participate in. And so if you can think about what's showing up in your life, that, where that bigger hand of the divine is kind of guiding you and kind of steering you and kind of saying, what about trying this? Have you thought about going in this direction? Have you thought about making this choice? Maybe it's a little different than the way that you normally make decisions. Have you thought about talking to this person? Maybe that's not somebody you normally would discuss this topic with, right? Have you thought about exploring, reading, educating yourself about this topic, taking a class, right? Something that's a little bit out of the ordinary for you, but that is speaking to you. So that bigger hand of the divine saying, here's the direction. Here's what is calling you forward. Are you willing to trust and take that step and move into that thing? So hopefully that gives you some, sense of the kind of the tingles that come from this lunar eclipse and its power connecting with that bigger picture of magic and mystery. I do have a guided meditation that could help you work with this energy. It's called Bringing the Divine to Earth. It's only $15. It's available in the description for this video. And my meditations are always available at astrologyheals.com for every new moon and full moon. So this is a good one to work with that meditation to support your process. And that's, exactly what these guided meditations do. They don't tell you what to do, but they do help you connect with your own wisdom, with your own inner knowing about what's true and right for you, and maybe unlock a little bit of magic for you. So that is my intention. And these guided meditations are ones I have recorded in the past, and they are really just very helpful in supporting your process, especially as we're working with these astrological energies. Thanks for being here. So astrologyheals.com is where you can find the guided meditation. And it's in the link will be in the description for this video in case you don't want to navigate on the site to find it. Bringing the divine to earth. Enjoy this eclipse. Thank you for being here and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I have other videos about this eclipse as well if you want more of the mental version. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. See you next time.